Season 3 is on the way here, and Warzone's the prime target for some of the marketing we've already seen. I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm actually really surprised we've gotten the teasers that we have basically daily here since the first one dropped a little earlier last week, with so much time still until the launch of the season as of next week. Today we're breaking down the teasers you may have missed and what it means for the upcoming content in the near future. So as we go along, drop your thoughts down below. Is there anything in particular you're really looking forward to? Anything that you guys have caught that you're really keen on? Whatever the case, drop it down below. As well, if you enjoy the video, do me a favor and drop a like on it. And if you're also new to the channel, you'd like to stay today with all things Warzone, Season 3, and perhaps even Modern Warfare 2 if some teasers and such do end up coming out here shortly, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a single bit of any of it. There's a lot upcoming here in the next couple of weeks. Big stuff here on the horizon, so make sure you stick it here for all of it. And finally, check out my friends over at Gamer Advantage for the best blue light glasses on the market to protect your long-term vision health, but more on them in a bit. For now, let's jump into it. So let's start at the beginning here, what was kind of already established as our first look at Season 3. So last week we ended up surprisingly getting a teaser trailer of sorts for Season 3, well ahead of when we normally do. Now this was essentially a story trailer, cinematic. It's definitely nice and everything, but the bombshell out of it wasn't until a little later on. The cutscene was Butcher retelling the formation of one of the task forces that we've seen here within Vanguard. If you guys remember, the entire narrative of what we see within Warzone right now is being told in the 80s as Butcher is met in the World War II bunkers under Verdansk by Adler, Woods, Mason, and Hudson, and he recounts the creation of the Vanguard, the first special forces. But this cinematic in particular shows us our upcoming operators in Task Force Harpy and how they're tracking down shipments of the Nebula 5 gas. That gas, according to his retelling though, woke something that they weren't ready for, and in the end, we hear a distorted roaring. Now, when you add on top of that the additional audio file that Call of Duty tweeted shortly after that, that's where things got a little bit interesting, because if you examine that in the spectral view of any audio program, kind of like a heat map for audio waves and audio files, the spectral view revealed a message that said, "Monsters are real." Now this is something that myself and many others believed, and is now further backed up by that, would be in relation to a previously leaked event regarding Godzilla. Maybe Godzilla versus Kong at some point, but right now the evidence pointed towards Godzilla. However, over the holiday weekend for many, if you didn't see what was also introduced, this furthers that theory a bit more. First, we had an image in an email from Call of Duty to those that subscribe to their mailing list that went out with the title of "See What's New in Call of Duty. Don't believe their lies. Something big is," and then it cuts off. But then it came with the following image. A sort of workbench with a map of Caldera in the background, a redacted letter that you can't really discern anything, it's too low res for that, and then a folder marked top secret with blood splatter on it. Now that folder has a note of "leak to press if I go missing," and a Morse code message just to the left of that once transcribed states, "Do not believe them, secret weapons exist, I am compromised." So certainly the making of something big coming to Caldera and Warzone, at least narratively, but then it continued the next few days. The next thing that we saw was the following video.
This fight is beyond the scope of any of our conventional munitions. We must forge something new. And these weapons are our only chance for survival. Let's hope they're enough.
Now, this is kind of setting up the sort of mystical theme here, perhaps, coming to this, beyond conventional munitions with what looks to be a sort of sci-fi tech-looking weapon, or weapons, we should say. And right now, it's obviously not known if this will be something that is like blueprints, or if it's something that will be full-scale weaponry that is kind of like this. My guess is that maybe this is some of the shown-off stuff from the Battle Pass. But beyond that, we also get some clues in the sort of archive footage from what we see, where it says case file Caldera Weapons Research Facility. And the tweet originally stating declassified, newly unearthed footage from the secret facility B1108 on Caldera. So I'm wondering if this is going to be a new point of interest. I mean, we had Factory that was manufacturing Nebula 5 gas, so it's not out of the realms of possibility that we see another here. And also, Raven did mention that we're likely to see some areas around peak adjusted and added to, so we'll see how that plays out. But more on that in just a bit. But then today we ended up getting another video stating the island surface is no longer safe. When they go high, we go low, with the following video.
Once the device is activated and the carts are installed, we'll... Oh god. No! Not yet! It's not ready yet! They're coming!
So the first things that I notice here with this is that if we follow that same sort of methodology of the archived footage, this is the subterranean region of Caldera, which could refer to the mines at the bottom of Caldera's Peak, right at the edge of the mines region of the map, but I'm also curious if this then opens things up a bit more, where we'll see more underground locations added to the map overall. I mean, we did see it happen with Season 2 with the bunkers, those hatches that opened up, but at the same time, we don't quite know. So potentially a new point of interest here. Maybe it ties in directly if there is that one with the research facility. Maybe it's underground there. But again, this references some kind of upcoming device that had to be worked on, and of course then with the cart systems in the mine, kind of transporting it. But I'm curious again to see how that plays out. Now, perhaps the most damning of evidence is that if this wasn't enough to justify where we are in terms of a Godzilla event or something like that, another email went out today to members of the newsletter with the following image. Now, it's an incredibly long image, so here's the original form, but here it also is to break it up to more discernible pieces. It's Caldera on fire and then something off in the distance swimming towards it. Now that's, for anyone who's seen it, that looks exactly like Godzilla. Also interesting is this kind of followed up an update seemingly under the radar over the weekend where it looks like there are textures of the water rings that happen whenever something stomps off in the distance. Now, this is something that you wouldn't see this then if something's stomping off in the distance, how it is right here where it's in the middle of already existing water, but anyways, it's kind of the principle of it. I always kind of associate this with the Jurassic Park stomping in the distance, that classic scene, but obviously not in the same regards here for this. But by the way, credit to Burger on this find here. Great guy, great content creator. Check him out, link in the description below. But by literally all accounts, it seems like we're gonna be having some sort of monster takeover here, at least within Caldera. So I'm curious on a number of different things. Firstly though, like functionally speaking, my biggest thing I think will this be weapons or blueprints that we've seen teased for those weapons? Firstly, kind of thinking it through whenever we just talked about it here in the commentary is that I kind of think this might be just our sort of tier 100 skins. It seems kind of odd they would be advertising bundles in that sense, but obviously we don't quite know for sure. Also, one thing that I really want to know is that if this will be new points of interest within Warzone. I quite like how they managed Factory within Season 2. A lot of my squad normally is kind of hard set on Peak or Fields, but having played with some other squads or playing solo or anything like that, like Factory is pretty fun to go. There's a lot of loot there, and there's of course a lot of players that could be found here. I think the one time in one of the games we were regaining after getting wiped at Peak here early on, and there was like 10 to 15 players on the minimap when he called on a UAV, and it was mind-blowing to me. I didn't think it was ever that hot, but I mean, seems like it was. And also, I'm wondering if this leads to something bigger, sort of in a real-world perspective. Like we've mentioned before, the previous crossover events that we've seen have had real-world implications, where the Hauntings Scream inclusion was a direct result of a marketing push for the new Scream film that released in January or February of this year. The most recent Attack on Titan bundles and crossover were introduced for that real-world marketing of the final season of Attack on Titan. So right now, I mean, there's not really a whole ton that's been confirmed for anything new in terms of that monsterverse with Godzilla. It has been rumored that they're starting a new Godzilla vs. Kong movie filming this year, but if they're starting that, I feel like it's kind of weird to have this now where a trailer would probably still be at least 6 to 9 months off at the earliest, if that's the case. Maybe it's something to do with an HBO show that was apparently greenlit in the Godzilla monsterverse here, that side of it, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Anyways, though, that's where we're at with it. I just want to fill you guys in here. I know that myself, I was coming back to playing catch-up, so figured maybe this could help anybody else out that may have been out this weekend and didn't quite catch everything for themselves. But that said, that's where we're going to wrap it up. But before we do, I want to let you guys know about my friends over at Gamer Advantage, who just recently launched a new line in their collection of blue light glasses. This being a collaboration with a company called Genesee, and the line sees all the frames being incredibly eco-friendly. This line takes plastic water bottles and turns them into the frames that you can wear, but still having that same durability, comfort, and lightweight nature that you'd see in any of the Gamer Advantage frames, but also helping you reuse and clean up some of that plastic out there. Now, mix that in with the great option of lenses that you can have in your glasses, and you've got yourself a great pair. There's much more detail on their site about this line and more, the science behind it and everything that I could ever fit in here, and honestly, they're the experts on this stuff. I can let them tell you through their official channels, but if you'd like to learn more, the link is in the description below. The only thing that I will say is that from firsthand experience, there's not a better company out there on the market when it comes to blue light glasses. You absolutely get the value out of what you pay here for these, and that's something that is absolutely 100% worth it in my opinion. I've used their products for well over a year now, and I've noticed a difference in less eye fatigue, better quality sleep, and all of that comes along with a decrease in exposure, especially as someone who's on their computer for 6 to 8 to 10 plus hours a day. So if you're at all interested, check them out, link in the description below, and if you'd like to pick anything up, code Espresso nets you an additional discount. That said, thanks so much for watching. That's where we're gonna wrap it up. So let me know your thoughts down below. Are you guys looking forward to Season 3 here within Warzone and potentially Vanguard? Vanguard. Whatever the case, drop your thoughts down below. But if you enjoyed the video, do me a favor and drop a like on it. And if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a single thing regarding all things Warzone, Season 3, and anything COD related. Maybe even some Modern Warfare 2 stuff here in the near future. But that said, thanks so much for watching. My name is Espresso. I'll see you guys later. Take care, and peace.